Today on Let's Fish TV, we're at Toledo Bend. This is one of my favorite lakes in the entire country, and I couldn't think of a better lake to wrap up our season. You know, I've spent countless hours out here fishing and looking for fish. Today, we're going to kind of explore a lot of different things, from fishing really deep to really shallow, and show that fall versatility. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now.
That's a big one right there.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
You ever caught a fish that big?
No!
Got him.
Another day. There you go. Another redfish. Got him. Now, that's what Let's Fish TV is all about right there, guys. Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw, and today we're heading out on Toledo Bend Reservoir. Toledo Bend Reservoir is one of the largest lakes in the state of Texas, and it's easily one of my favorite lakes to fish. Today we're going to be targeting bass, and we're going to be fishing from 30 foot of water to a foot of water, throwing things like Carolina rigs, deep diving crankbaits to frogs. I just want to show you the versatility of this lake, especially in the fall time of the year. Last night was one of the coldest nights of the year so far, and we had massive amounts of fog as soon as we got here. I have a feeling the fishing is going to be good today. Not sure how we're going to catch them or what we're going to catch them on, but I know we're going to have a fun time doing it. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region from our insider reporters. In the meantime, we'll get the boat launch, get everything set up. We'll toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hey there, everybody. The salooner tables are indicating fair game fish activity on both days this weekend. Peak morning hours begin early, around 5:12 on Saturday, 6:02 on Sunday morning. Afternoon activity will begin around 5:37 on Saturday and 6:27 Sunday evening. Depending on your area, the sun will rise around 7:07 and set at 5:24. Expect the moon this weekend to be at 43% visibility. Stay in the loop with Let's Fish TV's latest fishing adventures and tips by joining us on Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel.
All right, guys, today we're on Toledo Bend. You know, this is one of my favorite lakes in the entire country, and I couldn't think of a better place to wrap up this year's final episode. Now, I say final, this is our final fishing episode, and next week you'll actually catch our recap of the rest of the half of the season, but we are gonna go out targeting bass. You know, the temps are falling, we got fog everywhere this morning. I'm bundled up a little bit. We're gonna have a lot of fun today because the fish are biting. This is the time of year that Toledo Bend starts getting really fun. We're gonna go try to do a bunch of different things, from deep cranking, dragging a Carolina rig, maybe even go throw a frog a little bit in the pads. But overall, I'm telling you guys, this is a great place, and we're gonna go smash on today. It's perfect conditions. Let's see what we got. All right, there's one. One was biting it. Oh yeah, he's on there. There we go. Let's see, how big are you, fish? Oh, that's a decent one. On the old Carolina rig. That's what I'm talking about. He's digging like he's a 5-pounder, but I've already seen him. He ain't that big. There we go. Oh, he's got all kinds of marks on him. Ugh. There we go. Not a bad one to start the day. On the old cutter worm. Guys, today we're at Toledo Bend. Easily one of my favorite fisheries in the state of Texas, maybe in the entire United States. Not a big fish. Pretty fish, though. But today is our semi-wrap-up show for the season. You know, we've been all over the country this year, and we actually have our recap show coming next week, and that's where we're going to highlight all the big fish catches of the year. But I really wanted to take this time to come wrap up on this particular body of water because it is one of my favorite places to fish. But today we're going to be kind of mixing things up. We're out here dragging a Carolina rig, cranking a little bit, throwing a jig, and this afternoon, if we just don't get on them good enough, we're gonna go up there and go frogging and stuff and really try to show you something and show you how on Toledo Bend you can go catch them from 25 to 30 foot of water all the way to a foot of water almost all the time. Can't wait to show you even more of Toledo Bend and talk about a little bit of what we're doing. I'm not gonna spill the beans just yet, but we got a lot to talk about today and a lot to show you. So I'm gonna get back to it, rig me up a new Strike King cutter worm, try to catch us a big one.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by Skeleton Optics. Now, Skeleton are a USA company founded by a veteran that uses only the very best Zeiss lenses in their products. Now, this week we're going to talk a little bit about winter fishing and the misconceptions some people may have. They think that winter fishing is very slow and not very much action, and you'll only catch a fish or two, and that can be true. But if you'll fish for the right species on the right lakes, you can also experience an action-packed day. Let's start at Texoma or Whitney or LBJ, and let's fish for some early morning stripers with topwaters. Now, whenever that bite plays out, or if it doesn't occur at all, we're going to use a Bass Assassin on a 1 ounce lead head. We're going to use ivory or pearl or other shad colors on that bait. And we're going to start on the flats early in the morning, same place we would have thrown a topwater, 10 feet or less, but we want deep water nearby. If that topwater bite doesn't happen, or when it plays out, we're going to throw that Assassin out there. We're going to fish the same waters about 5 feet deep. Later in the day, as the fish move out deeper, we're going to go to that first break line where it's 12, 15, 18 feet deep, and we're going to count that Bass Assassin down 5 or 10 seconds to get it down where the fish are. Now, for the catfish anglers, trophy cats, big blue cats, are also known to be caught during the winter months, and you can do that on these very same lakes in pretty much the same places. You'll use your fresh cut bait or live shad to catch those big trophy blues. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes. Check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
Oh, that's a better one. I didn't see him jump. Oh yeah, that's not a bad one. He's just fat, short and fat. I can't even tell you the last time I got it on a good Carolina rig bite. I love catching them on a Carolina rig. There we go. That ain't bad. A little bit better than the last one. A mean one. I love that. There we go. I mean, barely had him too. A bad fish, 2 1/4 pounds. So guys, we're out here Carolina rigging. I know some of y'all might not even do that anymore with all this forward-facing sonar stuff, but I really wanted to come out here and Carolina rig today. This is a great time of year to Carolina rig, and this is a fantastic lake to throw Carolina rig. It's actually the lake where I learned to throw one. So let's go through our setup real quick. You know, having the right setup, I've tried literally every single rig out there as far as the Carolina rig goes, and every little combination and all that different stuff for years and years. And over the last handful, probably 10 years, I've been doing the exact same thing, and I'll show it to you. The first thing is I always like using a barrel weight. So this is a barrel weight. It's a Strike King tungsten barrel weight. It's a 3/4 ounce. Now, I will throw this 3/4 ounce anywhere between 2 foot all the way to 30 foot. I know that sounds crazy, but I will throw that in 2 foot of water if there's a shell bed, a hard spot, something like that, rock. And then I use a little tungsten bead. It's a little 8mm tungsten bead, and it makes a lot of noise with that tungsten weight. And then I'm using, this is an oversized Strike King swivel. Okay, this is you always want to go a little bit oversized. It has a little more strength to it. And then you have a leader. In this situation, it's about a 3-foot leader. And I always use more of a wide gap style hook on a Carolina rig. And part of that reason is because when you set the hook, and I know you've noticed, I'm never setting the hook straight up. I'm always sweeping that hook set. And that wide gap hook, to me, has a better hookup ratio than an offset shank or a straight shank, because that hook has a tendency to turn. So when you sweep it, that hook will turn in their mouth and you'll be able to hook them. Now that's just one small aspect of the Carolina rig that makes it important, but the other aspect is to have the right rod and the right reel. In this situation, I'm using a 7/6 medium heavy custom light rod. The 7/6 is a really big key because it allows you to have that good sweeping hook set. And the medium heavy in this situation is not to pull the hook out of the mouth. You actually want to give, you know, when you're dragging it around, if you have too stiff a rod, you're not gonna be able to detect those bites as easy. That medium heavy, when they eat it, it'll actually curl that tip over and you can see that bite sooner than when you can feel it. And then you're sweeping it. But anywhere between a 6.5 to 1 to an 8 to 1 gear ratio reel, as far as gear ratio matters, to me it doesn't matter as much, but having the right size line is just as much a key. You know, anywhere between 17 and 20 pound line is probably where you want to stay, because you're going to be dragging that big heavy weight on the bottom, and if you're a rocky area and you use too light a line, you'll be breaking off all the time. So the only time I will change my line is sometimes I'll change the size leader that I have, depending on how clear the water is or how pressured the fish are. So in this situation, I'm still using a 17 pound leader because on Toledo the water isn't that clear, and where I'm fishing right now isn't the most heavily pressured. So I'm gonna get back out there. There's a big wad of fish here. Hopefully I can catch a few more before the end of the day, and man, maybe it'll be a big one. I really want to catch like an 8 or 9 pounder today. That'd be awesome.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lou's, Feel the Difference, Strike King, Tie One On, and by Glacier Outdoors since 1982.
There we go. There we go. Oh yeah. Man, that's what I'm talking about. I knew if we came up here we were going to catch a big one today. And I mean swallowed this frog. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that thing. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, this time of year it's pretty hard to catch big ones on Toledo. And so you have to kind of change it up a little bit to catch them. There we go. Now that's a nice one there. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Look how he has that pad perch, that bone pad perch. That is incredible. And I set the hook as soon as that fish hit and absolutely demolished that thing. So we've had one of those unreal days today. You know, we started out deep, we stayed there for a while, caught a bunch of fish. And that's what you're gonna catch this time of year. You're gonna get a lot of numbers, and that's what makes it great. But to catch those bigger fish on this lake this time of year, you gotta go shallow. You gotta get in the pads, in the grass, around points, around cover that's in shallow water. Those fish wanna be up there. There's a bunch of bait in here right now. And that's the type of fish that you're gonna catch right there when you make those adjustments. This is what makes Toledo been awesome though, is when you get up here, you go down there and you catch a bunch of fish early. And that's what that deep bite's gonna give you this time of year. You're gonna get a lot of that 1.5 to 2.5 pound fish. But I love catching big ones, and I love catching big ones on a pad perch, Strike King pad perch. I had to make this run. We're up on the north end of Toledo on the Louisiana side. If I wanted to catch a big one, I needed to just go put it down, put all the Carolina rigs, crankbaits, drop shots down, and pick up the frogging rod and see what happens, and that's exactly what I expected to happen. We've had quite a few blow-ups while we've been up here and caught quite a few fish, but that was definitely one of those that we were looking for.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here, coming to you from Cajun Paradise Charters right here in Hackberry, Louisiana, with this week's Let's Fish Outdoor Report. Tell you what, we're going to start off talking about fishing. We're going to start off right here on Calcasieu Lake. Tell you what, we're in the full fall, early winter pattern right now. A couple days after these little fronts, the marshes dump, all the shrimp come into your little bays. Birds are working, lots of solid trout getting caught. 1/8 and 1/4 ounce Rockport rattler, jig heads, down south soft plastics. Tell you what, you can catch them on live shrimp under a cork. The soft plastic bite's great. And also redfish right now. You got redfish that are sitting in the fronts of these cuts, in the mouths of these cuts after these fronts, just feeding on what's coming out. Live shrimp or even dead shrimp seem to be best there. If you want some bigger reds though, you can go down the channel towards the jetties, They're on that spawn right now. Lots of big bulls, anywhere from 15 to 35, 40 pounds getting caught. Cracked crab seems to be the best there, or cut bait like mullet or croaker. That's working great also. I'll tell you what, we're in waterfowl season right here in southwest Louisiana. Lots of ducks all along the Gulf Coast. Tell you what, cast and blast can't go wrong. Come in, fish in the afternoon, go hunting in the morning, shoot you a good mess of ducks. Sportsman's paradise. For Old Cajun Phil, I'm Captain Kevin Broussard at Cajun Paradise Charters, saying happy fishing, may God bless, and let's fish.
There we go. Not a bad one. There we go. So guys, real fast, I want to talk to you about my frogging setup. You know, and that, not a big bass. I mean, definitely not a big one, but having the right frogging setup is really, really crucial. And whenever you're going out there, I've seen guys that'll throw 20, 30 pound braid. I throw at minimum 50 pound to 65 pound braid. When you're in this really, really heavy cover, you don't want to have the wrong size line. Just like you don't want to have the wrong action rod. You want a heavy action rod, anywhere between 7.2, 7.6, and a fast gear ratio reel. In this case, I'm throwing a 7.5 to 1, so you can catch that line up when they bite it and actually get them away from the pads as quickly as possible. The number one key when you're frog fishing is you want to be able to get their heads up as soon as you can, because whenever you get their heads up, they can't bury you down in the pads, and then you just drag them on in. And you saw when I had that fish, about halfway in, I got his head up and I just drug him across the surface. And that's what's going to help you land way, way more fish when you're out here frog fishing. Now, obviously, like I said, it's not a big one, not even close to a big one, but it sure was fun. I'm going to get back to it and see if I can catch me another one.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach Tourism. Let's fish on Alabama's beaches. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion.
There we go. I don't know if the right one ate it. Well, that's a good one. That's one. What do I got? I might have a catfish. Oh no, that's a big one. There we go. That's one of the right ones right there. Golly. I love catching them on spinning rod. It's one of my favorite ways to catch them. And I wasn't even using active target 2 there. I was just kind of flipping around and hovering that minnow around, just kind of blind fishing. That's a fat one. My goodness. It's a really fat one. Wow. Look how fat that fish is. Dang. What just a barrel. You don't catch these this often this time of year, just because the fall they kind of get weird. They want to go shallow, but man, what a nice bass that is. You know, and today what I'm using, I started out the morning using a Carolina rig with that Rage cutter worm, and transition to the Baby Z2. You know, Baby Z2 is my go-to, no questions asked. If I am using active target 2, this is the minnow that I turn to, using a 7-foot medium action rod and a 300 size hyper mag speed spin. You know, real light braid, 10-pound braid to an 8-pound leader. But the most important thing whenever you're hovering a minnow around, it's to really pay attention to not give it too much action. And what I mean by that is when you make your pitch out there, and let's say for instance you see a fish on an active target, the worst thing you can do is sit here and shake it big, because every time you shake that rod, even if you're only moving it this far, that bait is moving this far, and it's very unrealistic in the water. So if you're gonna shake it, you barely wanna almost shake the line. It's almost like drop shot fishing. You wanna shake that line a little bit and then hold it tight. Shake that line a little bit, hold it tight. Less is more when it comes to hovering that minnow. The worst thing you can do is shake it too hard. So I'm gonna get back to it. Fish are biting here on Toledo Bend. Man, this place, just every time I get to come fishing out here, reminds me how much I love this place. It is absolutely majestic. Oh, he's coming back to it. Please eat it. There we go. Came up there and ate that little minnow. Nice fat fish. Man, every single fish we've caught today has been a really big chunky fish. That's what, the lake right now is really, really healthy. Oh, he's right on it. Just eat it. It's a good one too. There we go. I don't know if the right one ate it. Oh, that's a good one. There we go. There we go. Every once in a while you gotta shine that little active target out there to catch you one. You don't have to always, but it does make the bite a little easier. It's not a bad fish right there. Got him a little sore on him. There we go. That baby Z2 right in the top of the face. Just like that. You know, and that's what makes this place super, super cool is like I threw that baby Z2 out there and that one decided to eat it. But it's all about being versatile in this body of water. I mean, we're catching right now in anywhere between 25 and 30 foot of water. So it just proves to you that you can fish any depth of water on this lake and be successful. Fish are biting. Can't beat it on Let's Fish TV.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Power Pull, Total Boat Control. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on, challenge your limits. Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Today on Toledo Bend, we used a couple different baits to catch our fish. The very first thing I picked up this morning was a Strike King cutter worm, 6-inch green pumpkin, 3/4 ounce weight, 7.5 foot rod, and the KVD 7:5 to 1 gear ratio reel. Now, as the bite got a little tougher, I ended up picking up the Strike King Baby Z2. This is the gray glimmer color. This is the one that I turn to 99.999% of the time. It's just the color to throw when you're chasing minnow fish. 7-foot medium action rod, 10-pound braid to a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader, and that hyper mag, man. It's got one of the smoothest drags you could ever use. But I'm gonna tell you, all that stuff aside, my favorite bait today, might only caught one big one, but was the Strike King pad perch. This is the bone color. This is one of my go-tos, especially this time of year. They're chasing those big gizzard shad up and around the pads. Something about just getting that frog blow up. I don't care if they're this big or that big, it is still so much fun. And that was kind of what we did. We kind of went out from 30 foot to a foot of water and just kind of chased them in and around all over the place, just trying to figure out where the best bite would be. Overall, guys, it was a fantastic day. Caught a lot of different fish, doing a lot of different things, even some stuff that we didn't even do, that we even showed on the episode. Just caught them doing a lot of different stuff, and that's what makes Toledo Bend one of those special types of fisheries that you can go from the top to the bottom and still catch bass. But guys, I hope y'all learned how to find and catch them here on Toledo Bend, and maybe you'll take a trip out here this fall and get in that fish catching action. And until next time, I'll see you on the water.